With the release of Thor Love and Thunder and Marvel's kid-friendly version of Gore the God Butcher, I think this is how they're going to do the Gore the God Butcher story. While not a standout in the comics, Gore is famous for indirectly causing Thor to lose the ability to pick up his hammer after Nick Fury whispers in his ear, Gore was right, which also causes Jane Foster to become the new Thor for a while. As I'm curious about what Marvel Studios is going to do next to try to make a competent movie, I'm wondering what storylines they're going to adapt. Looking back at all the comics I've read, here are some storylines and characters that should be adapted into movies and have the potential to turn out somewhat decent when put on the big screen. The Kree Scroll War was huge in Marvel Comics at the time because it involved two alien races, the Kree and the Skrulls, and their grudge match above Earth due to Captain Marvel knocking up a Skrull princess. The Kree Scroll War was also known for being a stepping stone to the Marvel Universe outside the planet, and introduced the famous WandaVision romance. Both the Kree and the Skrulls have already been introduced into the MCU, and so it should be possible to somehow adapt the storyline for the big screen. Sure, they'd have to cut out the Inhumans since the TV show bombed, and take a few creative liberties, but this was a somewhat big event in Marvel Comics at the time, and it deserves recognition. With Disney buying back the Fantastic Four from Sony, there's no doubt in my mind they want to eventually make a movie, or at least another TV show, and Namor is the perfect villain to introduce the Fantastic Four with. He's the Prince of Atlantis, a nation not yet seen in the MCU, and is one of the Fantastic Four's oldest adversaries, a team who's been around since the 60s, and Namor has been popping up here and there ever since. While Doctor Doom is definitely the most well-known, his character has been done twice, both with lackluster results, but Namor is something fresh and new. On the plus side as well, Marvel loves to put characters into other movies, like how Daredevil was in Spider-Man, and everyone went nuts. A new Fantastic Four movie is worth trying if done right, and if Namor does appear, it would definitely be a good sign. The Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storylines happened around Marvel's famous Civil War. The Illuminati, consisting of Reed Richards, Professor Xavier, Namor, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt, vote on how to deal with the Hulk, since in the comics he's a rampaging monster that causes a lot of damage and destruction. While Namor votes no and Xavier is not around, the other four unanimously vote yes and shoot the Hulk into space. He lands on an alien planet called Sakaar and is turned into a slave and gladiator, who eventually rises to rule the planet. Just when everything seems peaceful, the rocket ship that brought the Hulk explodes, and so he takes the survivors to Earth to get revenge. I remember this event very well, and it brought a smile to my face to see the Hulk and his friends beat the snot out of everyone and call out the Illuminati for their secrets and lies. The storyline also alluded to the Hulk's kids, Sakaar's son and Skaar, both potential characters that could be brought into the MCU and give the Hulk another movie of his own, since the last solo Hulk movie was in 2008. Marvel did something similar with Thor Ragnarok, so Planet Hulk and World War Hulk might be out of the question, but the potential to make a movie around the Hulk's kids would be something cool to see. Time runs out seems to be something the movies are slowly pushing toward, and so it will be interesting to see if Marvel does it, and if they do it well. In the comics, the universes are being smashed into each other, with both being destroyed, and the event is called an incursion. The Illuminati decide to do whatever it takes to save their universe, and it makes each hero do darker and darker things until they can no longer stomach it, and so the villains, and Namor, take on the role of protecting the universe. The storyline went on for a few years, and ended with Secret Wars in 2015. Where Doctor Doom took control of what was left of the multiverse and created Battleworld, an amalgamation of different versions of Marvel. While it would need to be stretched across several movies, this could be the next Avengers or Thanos saga for the big screen, and also has a lot of potential to bring back old characters like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, as well as involve everyone who currently stars in the MCU and create a big blockbuster. Annihilation is another famous space Marvel event, and this one put the Guardians of the Galaxy on the map. Annihilus, an alien from another dimension, the Phantom Zone, brings his army, the Annihilation Wave, to the main Marvel universe, and so Nova and the Guardians have to stop him before the Annihilation Wave destroys everything. This should be the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, since it would get to show off more of the space MCU, since we have only seen snippets from the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and a few bits from Thor. Annihilus would be cool for a villain to have the Guardians fight, as well as introduce Nova, since the Nova Corps in the MCU has been destroyed. But the character could definitely still appear as the last of the Nova Corps or something along those lines. There's definitely potential there, so it's up to Marvel Studios to develop it into something concrete and capitalize on it. Looking at the last string of Marvel movies and properties, I have to wonder if Marvel Studios is slowly dying, since they've used up several of the main characters already, and now are just trying to find whatever they can that will stick. In fact, the only movie character that still seems fresh is Spider-Man, and even him they can only get 1 or 2 more movies out of at most. Pop culture always needs something to stay fresh and relevant, so I can't help but wonder if the MCU is beginning to go stale. Still, Disney bought the whole thing for billions, so they need to get their money's worth. Anyway, that's my list, and I'll see you next time for another video. Thanks for watching.